So I ended up losing my phone for about a day, which is why I haven't been back on here. But I did once I did my phone and some of the other errands that I had to run. I came home and I wrote a little bit. And my husband came home and we went to go see Wicked, which was amazing. And that was sort of a first date night. And then today it was some more writing in this morning, along with morning chores. Then it was sort of running around with my husband, just doing some fun stuff. There was a new game store that he wanted to go visit, and we had to go pick up my phone. And then we came home, we watched Fall Guy, because that's one of our favorite, newest kind of rom-com movies. And then I cut his hair, and I took a shower because we have my husband's Christmas party to go to. And that's why I look a little more dolled up than normal. It's because Christmas is, I don't know, 15 something days away, and this is his party, and so we're gonna go and have a really good time and have fun. I'm very pregnant and pretty sore, so, it might be just finding a place for me to plop down and get us to have some nice conversations. There might be some good food. But yeah, it's going to be a really, really great night. And I've been able to get some writing done here and there. Today, my mind was very kind of scattered. Trying to get back into the story, the longer form story that I was trying to write is a little harder. I'm just at a point in the story that I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm sort of trying to write my way through it to the points that I do know, and then just kind of make notes on returning back as like, this is the problems I'm seeing here, and I'll fix them. But those are problems for a later day. But I still just need to get it on the paper so that I can mentally kind of get through the story. So not a ton of fun writing. It was kind of hard. I had a really rough night again last night with my back. Ended up having to come back down here and sleep a little bit. And that's, when you have interrupted sleep, that makes writing a lot harder. But I'm making some progress. I think I got about 1,000 words today, which usually I can make a lot more if I have the whole day or a couple hours to write. But my brain just was not up for it. But we did a little, and that's all we can do. And then we're going to have fun tonight, hopefully get some rest, and I might be able to get some done before the kids show up tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit. But I also want some hubby time, so we'll see. Okay, it's been about a day since I was on here. Yesterday we were just relaxing, chilling. Our kids were coming home that afternoon, as was my dad, because he needed to help with something today. And so I didn't do any writing, didn't do any videos, because I was just wiped from the Christmas party on Saturday, and I've been having some major back pain at night, so I'm waking up anywhere from 1 to 3 in the morning in bed with a lot of back pain, having to come down in my husband's recliner and sleep. So if I look very tired, that's why, because I don't know what it is, but this pregnancy is really wrecking on my back. And so this morning I knew I was going to have time to write. My dad was watching the kids for the morning because I had a doctor's appointment that I had to go to that was going to take about 4 to 5 hours. It was like, do something, then wait an hour, do something, wait an hour, do something, wait an hour. So I knew I was going to have plenty of extra time in between things to get some stuff done. The first sort of section of writing that I was able to do didn't go so well. I've hit a bump in one of my stories. More so, like, I know what needs to happen, but it feels very sluggish, and I need to make it quicker and more exciting. And between the one thing I was supposed to do and another thing I was supposed to do at the doctor's, I wasn't feeling great. And so not only was I just mentally and physically not feeling great, but I was also really struggling with that story. And I was like, I could keep trying to push and work on this novel because it's the one in the series that I have, and it's the one that I kind of want to finish before the baby comes. But I just was like, it's not happening. I got about 500 words for like 45 minutes, like a 45-minute sprint, which is not great for me. Usually in 20 minutes I can get about 700 to 900 words, and I just was like, I can feel that this is just not going well. And so the next few rounds, I was like, I'm going to switch over to the story, because that other story has the main character is not as like happy-go-lucky and a little bit more of a grumpy Gus. And I just was like, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. So I am going to switch over, because I feel like her voice right now is how I'm feeling, and I'm just going to run with it. And so that's what I did. I ended up switching stories and working on the other one. And that one, like, again, 45-minute kind of sprint, I ended up getting 1,300 words, which was like, yeah, this is more like me when I'm in my prime. And then the second round, I got like 1,700 words, which again is like, and I was feeling a lot better towards the end of what I needed to do at the doctor's. So I was feeling better. I had gotten into a groove in that story, and I was able to get almost 1,800 words in just that one span of time. So it went from 500 on a story that I was really trudging through and not feeling great, to kind of, oh, here we go, this is more okay, to like the 13, and then going 17 and being like, yes, okay, this is where it's at. And so I finished. I have to go home. I've got to relieve my dad, who's watching the kid, one kid, and then rest a little bit in order to pick up the other one from school. So while the stuff at the doctor's was not so much fun, I was able to listen to some music and get some writing done, which was really good. And I'm hoping, I don't know how much I'll get writing done between now and this coming week. This is like the last week before my oldest is on winter break. So it's probably the time for me to get maybe a little bit more done. But then once she's home from school, I don't know how much. And next week's Christmas. So I'm doing the best I can, throwing in a little bit. I have not been sleeping well because of my back. So again, that also affects how productive I am. There's some days where I'm not up for it. Physically, I just can't do anything. But hopefully, I'll be able to get a little bit done and still make some progress, and maybe even just sit down and think through that other story that I'm having a hard time with. Like, even if I don't want to do creative writing, I could maybe work on some plotting that I'm really struggling with on that other one. So we'll see. I'll have to work through how I'm feeling, what is being the most productive. I've been bouncing between stories on which one is feeling productive and which one I'm making progress on. And then whenever I get stumped, I go to switch over to the other one. So, but I don't want to do that so much that when the one gets so stuck that I don't come back to it. So, I think for that one though, I just need to do a lot more plotting, sit down and actually think through some stuff, maybe even talk to my husband, because he helps me sometimes when things get kind of stuck. How do I make this more exciting? Otherwise, the other story, I can just kind of continue writing, in place of, being stuck in the other one. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I'm excited, and I'm going to head back home and see how the rest of the week goes. I wanted to add, because I know that a lot of writers also do a lot of reading during their writing to sort of fill up their well. And on my way home, I am going to listen to the audiobook of Possession, which was a movie that came out somewhere in the early 2000s, I think, with Gwyneth Paltrow, and I can't remember who the other guy was. But I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm sort of at the time in my life, especially with the 2 little kids and the third on the way, where it's like, I need to read books to sort of fill up my well, but I have to read books with the story that I actually know. They can't be brand new stories. I get too wrapped up in them, and then I basically, kids don't talk to me all day long because I want to finish it, especially if it's engrossing. Whereas if it's stories where I'm like, okay, I either watched the show or I read it a long time ago and I'm rereading it, I needed stories that I could absorb, that I already knew the plot of, so that if the kids are calling me, I can jump out and come back in and know where I'm at. Because I have a hard time if it's in the middle of, I don't know, a paragraph in a story, and one of my kids needs me, pausing and going back and coming back in and being like, wait, what's happening? I can't remember. Whereas if it's a story I already know, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this part. Okay, it's fine. And so that's why I'm working on going through some books that I've already read or ones that I was interested in. So I just recently read Alias Grace, which I had watched the Netflix series on a long time ago, and I liked the story, so I wanted to do a deeper dive, so I decided to do the book. And then I also read The Silent Patient a long time ago. I don't remember, I think it was an audiobook too. Because when I'm on the farm doing chores, a lot of times I'm doing audiobooks. And I wanted to actually read the hardcover. So I bought the hardcover of both of those books, and I've actually read the hardcover. But then there's other ones where I was like, I don't have time, or I don't have the book or access to the book, like it's not at the library. And so I do an audiobook. But this time is Possession. We'll see how it goes. The story itself is I really liked it in the movie, and I'm sort of excited to see how it expanded in the actual book. And it's going to just be easier for me to be able to listen to. There's no kids in the car. I can really enjoy it on, the 15-minute drive home. Good morning. This is another day, another rough night of sleep. I woke up at 3:45 with major back pain. Went to sleep with kind of back pain, and then at 3:45 woke up, had to come downstairs and sleep in the recliner again. And then usually I wake up about an hour before the kids wake up to either exercise or write a little bit, but this morning I just was not up for it, so I slept in. I still woke up at 6. But then we had to go up, get the kids ready to go, and then drop my oldest off, come back home, do more chores, then come in, and I've just been resting all morning. I fortunately have a chiropractor appointment later today, so I get to go to that and have them sort of fix my back, and hopefully I'll be able to sleep a little bit better. But it's been a rough few nights. I don't think I've gone a week without waking up anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 in the morning. So I've not slept through the night in almost a week, I think. I don't know, all the days are kind of blending together. But when we come home, I do want to try to rest a little bit more, and then maybe write a little bit. I have my youngest, soon to be middle child, with me today, but he was playing really quietly and nicely a few minutes ago, which I was like, oh, this is what's so hard when you have kids, is you just never know when they're going to decide to go play quietly by themselves. And you'd have time to write. So by the time I was like, oh, I could have spent this time writing, I'd already waited too long, and I only had a little bit of time before we had to go, and I was like, oh, bummer. missed that point. But maybe later I can set him up with a game or something, and I can do some writing while he's preoccupied. They had a very busy weekend with my parents, and I think everybody's just a little tired. So him having a little quiet time and play by himself, I think, was just something he just naturally is drawn to today, because everyone's just sort of tired. So hopefully I can kind of take advantage of that, get him, busy doing some quiet activity, and I can take a few minutes.
And I'm gonna show him how to do muscles.
Oh, okay. Show who? Your brother? Your baby brother?
I'm gonna learn him how.
I'm
gonna teach you.
Yeah, he's my talker. I have 2 talkers, and they love to just chat. So I rarely get any time when they're with me to do quiet activities like writing. So I have to really plan ahead. So that's why when there's random moments where they're quiet, I'm like, if I had known. But I'm gonna try to plan a little bit in the afternoon. But we'll see. He's also was away from me for a little bit over the weekend, so I think he also misses mommy, and I'll have to do some mommy son time. But hopefully there's a little time of writing. But we'll see. They come first always. So. But sometimes I just mentally need some fun playtime, some fun creative writing playtime. And if I can get him to do something else, then even for 20 minutes, that would at least make us both have a little quiet time. He's out of the nap phase. Been out of the nap phase since he was 2, so I don't really get I don't really get alone time. And he's not quite in school yet, so it's been a little bit of a juggling act to try to squeeze in some time while he's awake. That's why I do a very short amount of time of writing in the morning if I'm well and well rested. And then the afternoon I sometimes do it, but that's also the only time I get to spend with my husband. So I do tend to pick them over writing a lot of the time, which is a choice, and I'm very proud of that choice. But there are moments where I do need some just mental playtime. Let's see, where's the sun? There we go. So another thing I realized I didn't mention earlier is if I don't have a chance to write, then I might try to transfer the videos that I've taken onto the computer and see about maybe editing. I haven't really practiced that in a while, and this whole week really is about practicing doing the whole vlogging and editing and seeing where I need to improve. And so that might be something I do if I just mentally am not in the space to create a story and plot and all that stuff. Then I might just hop on and transfer some stuff over so that I can edit a little bit. We'll have to see though, because the thing I was planning to do with my son was a computer game, and we only have one. So we'll see. But I was like, oh, that's something else I could do if for some reason I'm just physically and mentally not able to do the writing that I would like to do, is I can at least transfer the videos over and kind of make one more step towards that. My little quote for this year is baby steps. It's trying to get where I'm going, but using very, very small goals and steps. That's stuff falling on the tin roof. But yeah, baby steps is just making little tiny progress towards the things that I was hoping to do a little bit more of in the coming year. So baby steps would at least today be transferring the videos over if I can't actually do any writing.